Yeah, apparently we are.
I need medical assistance up here.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm calling this city council meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have a few additions to the agenda. We're putting Pat Necco on public forum regarding benches and flowers. Under the consent calendar for the regular city council meetings of April 14th, 2025, we're changing the name on page 7 from Nancy Allen to Kathy Allen. 17, resolution to adopt for renewal existing liquor licenses. 18, approval of fire invoice, and 19, additional bills for approval. Under E, City Administrators / City Clerk's report, we're scratching 4, memo dated May 8th from Lori about summer hours. Under Commission reports, under Park and Library, we're adding C, pickleball construction update / change. Under Public Works, we are at correcting a memo dated May 5th, 2025 from Public Works, Citywide Trail Plan. E, Wilderness Parkway. F, Barstock and Loon Center update. H, cracks 2025 crack ceiling. I, year 3 2026 improvements. J, 5-year road improvement plan. And under planning and zoning, G, the first reading of ordinance amendment adding the retail of the sale of cannabis in limited commercial district. Is there any other discussion on the additions? Seeing no further discussion, is there a motion to approve the additions to the agenda?
So moved.
So moved by Bob. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Sylvester. Since Sandy's on Zoom, we have to do everything by roll call today. Seeing that there's a second, Shar.
Sandy? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Was that a
Can I
yes
get-
to the vote?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Perfect.
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And the additions are approved. All right, public forum. This time is reserved for the persons who have a desire to address the council and have officially submitted in writing by Friday noon prior to the city council meeting a request to be placed on the agenda. Pat, you're up.
Thank you. Good evening on this beautiful summer day. The Crosslakers and our new flower group has been meeting, and regarding the beautification project, after our road construction project, we all wanted to wait to see what the sidewalks look like, and hopefully the grass is coming through, and see how we're going to beautify the area. And we've identified a spot on the west side of the Cross Lake Community School, and it is staked out right now. And I'm going to show you. Can I do this? Okay. This is a mock-up of the projects. We're hoping to get 3 of these around town, and for right now, we're looking to just get 1 done. It's a 4-foot by 11-foot slab with a bench, a kiosk with a map, a 2-sided map, and then 2 4-foot by 4-foot flower gardens on either side of it. This is not exactly what it will look like, but this is really close. And then we're going to put a tree behind the bench, a crabapple tree that will not drop its fruit. The garden club is instrumental in guiding us with that. We have spoken with the city and with the county and with TJ and all the powers that be. And what we're looking for today is you to make an agreement with the county on this project. It is within the county right-of-way. The right-of-way goes 4 foot 3 inches beyond the sidewalk, on the inside part of the sidewalk. So our cement slab and bench will be within the county right-of-way. So all of the bench and everything, and according to TJ and according to everyone else, meets the ADA requirements. So that's why we've added an extra foot to the cement so that wheelchairs can come up to both sides of the map and look at that. And then the bench, of course, you know, everything is looking good. So does anybody have any questions for me?
I just have a quick thing. That email that I was wrapped up in, I believe you were wrapped up in, Lori, and you as well, Pat, something about the gardens on the sides not being ADA accessible. I thought I read something on Friday. Is that accurate or not?
The gardens, why do they need to be accessible to anybody?
Enough space
Okay.
around the bench for a wheelchair, isn't that right, Phil?
I had read something on Friday and then,
Steve Stroshine, I think, approved the extra foot and where the bench is
Okay,
moved as far
that's what
over.
I-
And then there's the kiosk, so you got a 4-foot bench, and then we have another 7 feet.
Perfect.
So if the sign takes up 4 inches, then we've got 3.5 feet on either side of the bench for a wheelchair to come in. And Steve was at our Crosslaker meeting and agreed that everything was, and right, TJ, everything is compliant.
do any council members have any questions or concerns?
None from me.
Cool. No? Robin?
Just to clarify, the funding is fully funded because it was part of the beautification plan?
It's fully funded because the bench and part of the slab are donated by a donor. And the Crosslakers have approved up to $3,000 to spend. The kiosk is going to be about $1,500, and then we'll pay for the flowers.
Wonderful.
So this first one is fully funded by the Crosslakers and a donor that TJ has through the PAL Foundation.
Great, thank you for that.
And who's gonna water the flowers?
So this is the perfect timing for the school, because with the road construction project, their irrigation system was all tore up, and now they're putting it back together. So in meeting with Bud and Annette over at the Cross Lake Community School, we actually moved it down a few feet so that their sprinkler heads can hit the flowers on both
Perfect.
sides. So it'll be fully watered, and if there's any garbage in the area, Bud said he would pick that up. But any other thing in the flower garden that needs to be taken care of, we will have to take care of, pruning or anything like that.
Pat, this is on the school side or the west side?
It's on the west side of the
School
school.
side.
You know where,
Oh, the
the
west side of the school.
west side of the 66 side of the school, and you can see the stakes that are out
Yeah.
there. It's just gonna be 1 foot wider because we added the 1 foot for the ADA
Yeah,
compliancy.
I just misunderstood the west side, meaning
Of the
not
road.
across the street.
No, no.
Well, Pat, thank you for leading this endeavor, and we look forward to
Can I
the-
just clarify something?
Yeah.
Please. The kiosks and the flowers are being paid by the Crosslakers?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sweet. Well, we look
This is
forward.
the kiosk one. So what we're gonna be looking for eventually is to do 2 other same deal around town. One maybe down Pioneer, one down 3, between Andy's and Reed's on that stretch somewhere. And looking for donors to help pay for those who want, we already have one, who want, and they can have a little plaque that says "in memory of" on there. So we'll be talking more about that later. And then we might also be looking at enhancing some of the benches that are around town with a couple flower beds or whatever. There's lots and lots of possibilities. We just like to get the first one up, get the public's reaction, make sure the city and the county are on board with everything, and which is why Steve said you have to have an agreement. So that's what we're asking for today, is to have that agreement.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Pat, with that, and it sounds like it's all good from the county. I'd like to make a motion that we get a proposal from the county with the proposed agreement between the city and the county. If I have a second on that, that would be appreciated.
I'll second that.
Jamie seconded. Any further discussion? Sandy, anything?
No,
Awesome. Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of looking for the proposal agreement from the county signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Sweet. Thanks, Pat.
Can I take a roll call vote on that, please?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm used to just doing that.
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
yes,
All right. Consent calendar. All items here listed are routine by the city council and will be acted on by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these regular items unless a citizen or a council member so requests. Do any council members have any questions about anything in the consent calendar? Perfect. Seeing no questions, do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I make that motion.
Bob motions to approve the consent calendar. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconded. Any other further discussion from council members? Seeing no further discussion, Shar, take the roll.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
yes,
Robin?
Sweet. Mayor and council members report. First up, we have a letter here from Jen Elros, and it reads, Dear Mayor Purfirst and Administrator Conway, I hope this message finds you both well. I'm writing to formally acknowledge and commend the outstanding leadership and commitment of the Cross Lake Fire Department in hosting, helping organize, and supporting the second annual Women's Fire Expo on behalf of the Cuyuna Range Fire Chiefs Association. Fire Chief Chip Lowmiller, Deputy Chief Jory Danielson, and Fire Chief Caitlin Malin each served on the planning committee and played pivotal roles in the success of this event. Chief Lowmiller has championed this initiative from the beginning in his role as Region 5 President, demonstrating unwavering support for women in the fire service and a strong commitment to advancing recruitment strategies. His mentorship and leadership continue to drive innovation throughout the region and the state. Deputy Chief Danielson was instrumental in the grassroots effort to bring the expo to life and has been a consistent advocate for strengthening recruitment within the fire service. Firefighter Caitlin Malin brought valuable insight and dedication to the planning committee, along with her creative talents in developing and managing the event's website. On the day of the event, firefighters Sonny Kowalski and EMT Teresa Haynes joined these leaders and generously contributed to their time to teach and mentor attendees, furthering highlighting the department's strong commitment to community engagement, recruitment, and career growth in the fire service. Under Chief Lowmiller's leadership, the Cross Lake Fire Department is setting a high standard for firefighter recruitment, not only in your city and the county, but across the entire region and state. Their participation in this innovative effort ensures our departments are well-staffed and our communities are served with excellence. Their work deserves recognition and appreciation at the highest level. As a fellow fire chief in Crow Wing County in Region 5, I am incredibly proud to have Cross Lake Fire as a partner in this important and inspiring initiative. Warm regards, Jen. Chip, thanks again for doing that. This is the second year and it seems like it brought more people in, so thank you for doing that. Also, thank you for your guys' prompt response this weekend on many of those incidences that we had around town. So thank you. Same goes to the fire department, or same goes to the police department. Thank you, Jake. All right, number 2, notice of Crow Wing County Information Workshop. You're invited to the Crow Wing County Informational Workshop. Date is Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30 at the Gathering Event Center in Cross Lake here. The guest speakers will include Deb Erickson, the Crow Wing County Administrator, John Lupke, District 8 County Commissioner, and Tim Bray, Crow Wing County Highway Engineer. And this is once again hosted by the Cross Lake EDA, so we look forward to that as well. Number 4, we have an application for a public fireworks display in Town Square. Or number 3, sorry, thank you, Bob. For an application for fireworks in Town Square. This is once again going to be done by North Star Fireworks. They also do our winter show. This is just the normal procedural insurance package here and insurance waiver. Do any council members have any questions on that?
Nope.
Can I have a motion for approval?
I move to approve the application for the permit.
Bob moves. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds. Seeing any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Shar, please take the roll.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
yes,
Can you put her back on the screen?
You might have to say it one more time,
Sandy?
Sandy.
yes,
Robin? Yes. Bob?
Yes.
Perfect. Motion passes. Number 4. Did I pass number 4? Do we have a number 4 in our packet?
No.
Okay.
it's
Cindy, do you want to get up and speak on this? Or are we waiting until we get the permit?
No.
Okay.
I thought the permit would be submitted by now, and I
Okay.
apologize that it hasn't. However, I just want to let you know that on Saturday, July 5th, we are planning the fireworks over Cross Lake, shooting from Sand Island with the same RES pyrotechnics that we've used over the past many years. The show will go off at 10:10 p.m. We've decided that 10:10 is darker than 10 o'clock. So that's the time we use, and Skeeter 101.5 radio will be simulcasting that broadcast to patriotic music. Thank you to the city of Cross Lake for funding $15,000 of our now $21,500 show. The price did go up, just because pyrotechnics have gotten more expensive. Nothing to do with the tariffs at this point. The price has just gone up. They asked for an increase last year, and we held off a little bit, so this year we just have to bump the price. So I am organizing a donation funding for $6,500, and how we do that is we sell sponsorships to businesses in exchange for commercial time on the air before the fireworks. So for a $500 donation, a business can have a 30-second commercial right before the fireworks goes off. So imagine your audience is sitting in boats, but they're also driving down the highway in Aiken, because it is a live radio station, or broadcast radio station. So that is what we sell, and then we also have a $200 and above donation would put a family name as an acknowledged. So it could be, thank you to Bob Helis for your donation to the fireworks. So we list all the names and all the commercials, and then the fireworks go off, and it shoots the show. So the PAL Foundation generously offers to hold that money for us, so donations are made to the PAL Foundation. And then we do have a buffer in the PAL Foundation if we fall short on fundraising, but we've never had that happen, so we should be in good shape. As I stated, the permit should be here, and it will be here. It's a very reputable company. We've used them for years. It's the same show. I don't know if you're prepared to make a motion to approve this, barring receiving the permit, or if you want me to come back next month when the permit actually arrives.
Let's just wait till June, just so we have the permit in hand.
Okay, we're just getting close to the show date.
I think with city council meeting, we have another city council meeting before July. I think we'll be.
Well, you'll have to.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it'll be okay.
Okay.
But
And as far as Dave Fisher, I don't see him here tonight, but they will do the Grandpa's Run for the Walleye the same day, the morning of the fireworks show. So it all takes place Saturday, July 5th.
awesome. Do any council members have any questions or concerns?
None for me.
Thanks, Jamie. Go ahead, Robin.
I just am concerned about the 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. The next council meeting would be June, the second week of June, and then to July. So could we do a contingent on the application?
That would be
Vote.
helpful.
Sure.
I'll make a motion to approve the Celebrate America fireworks for July 5th, contingent on the application permit.
Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Shar, please take the roll.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
yes,
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I'll
you.
get that permit, Shar.
Resolution accepting donations. We have donations here. George Riches donated $1,000 to the fire department, and Sonia Slack donated 14.75 hours of service with the special primary election. So thank you to you two. Do we have a motion accepting the donations?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jamie, Bob seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Shar, please take the roll.
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
yes,
Motion passes. All right, into the city administrator's report. Lori?
Good evening. So the first one is a memo regarding the managed IT services, and it's just an informational piece that our data backup and recovery has reached its capacity. And they presented a 1-year and a 2-year contract, but it was best just to go with a 2-year outlook to save the city money. And so I will be using money out of the capital outlay budget for that, as I put in the memo. This is just for your informational purposes.
Thank you.
Yep. The next one is a memo regarding the ASME union who petitioned to the Bureau of Mediation Services to reconsider the position of the deputy clerk slash treasurer from a confidential position to a non-confidential position, which would then take her out of the ASME union and out of the MINP union and put her into the ASME union. That did go through the BMS, so this is something we have to recognize by motion.
I'll make a motion to recognize that the deputy clerk treasurer should be moved from MINP to ASME union.
Robin made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Bob seconded. Any further discussion on council?
What does BMS stand for?
It's the Bureau of Mediation Services.
Seeing no further discussion, Shar?
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Perfect. Go ahead, Lori.
The next one is the second reading of the special events liquor license and hiring of a police officer for gatherings of 50 or more. We had the first reading last month.
Does council have any concerns, or Jake, do you, go, okay, go ahead, Bob.
I think it's something we need to reconsider. You know, when they have these events, in a lot of cases, they're catered by Los Aires, who already has a liquor license. I don't know that for that few people that we need a police officer present. I mean, it's not an inexpensive cost for a small organization. $100 an hour. I mean, if it's.
I had the same concern, actually.
Can I make a statement on that? If it's a catered event, the caterer is taking the liability and they wouldn't get this special permit.
Okay.
So the hiring of a police officer wouldn't be necessary at a catered event.
So some examples, would one be, like, would example, not saying it is, but is an example like maybe the Loons and Lakes Festival if they decide to do liquor, or?
Correct. That's what,
How
yes.
many people go to that?
Right, I know, I hear you.
I would like to hear from our police chief to see what he thinks about how much security is needed for an event like that.
Well, usually when we have something like that going on, we tend to kind of stop in here and there anyhow and keep an eye on things, especially if it's a younger crowd. A lot of these aren't. I've had one right now, like Camp Knutson is going to have their Night Under the Stars event coming up in July. And it's just going to be a bunch of older adults that are going to have some wine with dinner. And this new ordinance would require them to have an officer there.
Right.
I could see where that might be kind of indicative.
How did this come about?
I think this was an idea that Ms. Conway had discussed.
Well, we didn't have a special event because they always fell under the
Right.
caterer's license. So it was a discussion that we had of, well, if we're going to do a special event and they're not under a caterer's license, should we have the police officers' presence?
It was more just erring on the side of caution,
Yep.
but, I mean, if we don't think we need it, we don't need it, and we can allocate our resources elsewhere and better use them. So that's why it's just on here for discussion, or, you know, on the agenda tonight as well.
Right, but isn't this the second reading?
Second reading, right, so this is where we would either pitch it or advance it.
Well, wouldn't we have to modify it to have a special event liquor license? So you can modify it and then redo a first reading, right? Yeah.
Has it been a problem in the past? Last year, year before that?
Not that I know of.
No,
Jake?
We've never had any problems with any special events, really. Like I said, we go anyway, but
Ms. Conway, do we need to do this?
Well, you need this special event liquor license. Because if we do not have it attached to a caterer, we do not have a license designated for that.
Right, to give or whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
think we need to,
Would we still wouldn't, okay, if we did that, we still wouldn't need to provide an officer though, right?
Right, you could, this is up to you guys.
Right. We could
But
still
we do
do,
need a liquor license.
Right.
Whether you want the officer there or not, that's on you.
right. Bob, do you want to make that modification?
well,
I don't,
there's a lot in here. Do we need to rewrite this or do it again next month or start over or what do we need to do?
I think, go ahead, Jamie.
I think it's just the last line in 492-A and the last line in 4-93-A.
Yep.
Just removing that last sentence out of each of those. And then removing the liquor licenses, presence of a police officer at an event over 50 people. I think everything else is okay.
I'm fine with that. That would make most sense to me. And then we could advance it and do the first reading of it next month. I'm okay with that.
This is specific to nonprofit organizations only coming in.
No.
This is any.
No.
Lori, do you just want to go?
I see, okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm okay if we remove those two sentences.
So if you move just to strike those parts, I think then we can call this the first reading, and then next
Okay.
month would be the second reading, right? Because this would be modifying it greatly, and maybe that's a question for Jordan. Jordan, if we could just modify that and continue this as our second reading, is that possible?
Yes, you can modify and continue this as the second reading. So there'd be a motion to amend and then a motion to approve.
Okay.
Okay. Jamie, do you want to make that motion to amend because you had it down right?
I will make a motion to amend our Chapter 4 City Ordinance relating to Section 4-92A by removing the last sentence of that paragraph and Section 4-93, Paragraph A, removing the last sentence of that paragraph. And on the,
That's the last sentence of the paragraph. We need to clarify that.
So you're at 4-92A, you're wanting to start at any gathering.
yep, any
Yes,
gathering of
any
50 more
gathering.
people at a public.
That's the sentence you want to remove.
Correct, in red.
So second to last, sentence on 4-92A, and the last sentence on 4-93A.
And B, you have a small,
And all of B.
Yes, all of
All of
B.
B, yes.
All right, so there's the motion to strike those sentences. Is there a second? I will second, Jackson seconds that. Any further discussion upon council?
yes, the fee schedule also needs to be modified, the presence of police officers struck.
Perfect. So now the motion reads the last red bullet on page 1 and Councilmember Knapp's modifications. Jamie, do you take Robin's
Yes.
modification? So do I, so there's a second. Any further discussion from council? Seeing no further discussion on council, Shar, please take the roll.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes,
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes,
Motion carries.
motion carried.
Thanks for catching that, Bob.
All right, 3 is done.
Do we need to publish that? We need a motion to publish that?
Oh,
Don't we need to do a second reading next month and then we'll publish? All right. 4 is scratched. 5, go ahead, trenchless repair.
So this is just some history of what we have experienced back behind the Mad Rabbit when a new transformer was being placed. And this has been at Public Works Commission, where the services just kept growing in order to fix that. And we had talked about sending a bill to Alex Olson, and then we found out that perhaps it should go to trenchless repair because it was their equipment, and Alex was recommended through trenchless repair. And so I submitted a letter of collection and an invoice, and then I heard nothing after 45 days, so I talked to our city attorney, and he sent a letter. Now he's asking if we want to keep pursuing this, that we ask for a motion to take this all the way to collection.
Are you working with Jordan or are you working with Joe?
Joe?
Okay, I was just gonna see what the viability is, if it is worth pursuing or if it's worth just choking.
Well, we're up around the neighborhood of $52,000 right now.
Right.
So I think an initial collection would be
Yeah.
advisable.
No, I agree.
I would make a motion to move forward with collections.
Robin made the motion, Bob seconded. Any further questions or concerns from council?
No.
No.
Seeing none, go ahead, Char.
Sandy? Sandy?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Perfect. Commission reports. Jake, you're up. Full-time police officer. Yeah. That's fine.
So, I sent you guys all a memo the other day, detailing this, new full-time police officer position. So I am requesting that we hire Mr. Nicholas Davis for a full-time police officer position. The Personnel Committee, Sergeant Marks, and I interviewed 4 candidates out of the 8 applications we received. Mr. Davis had an impressive resume and interviewed very well. Mr. Davis is very well qualified for this position as he has 4.5 years' experience as a police officer and lives in the area. It's requested that Mr. Davis's salary start at step 2, which is $32.73 an hour on the current pay scale. All other time off, insurance, and benefits will be based upon current practices.
Awesome, yes, we did that interview. Sandy, I think you can attest that
Yes.
this candidate was by far top of the heap and will meld very well with our current department family. So I would also make this recommendation along with the chief and along with Councilmember Farter.
I'll make a motion that we hire Nicholas Davis for the full-time police officer position.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Sandy seconds. Any further discussion amongst council?
He's not here tonight, is he?
No.
Okay.
No. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Shar?
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The second thing I have tonight is about the proposed possible ATV ordinance that you guys all, it was brought up by the Public Safety Commission and brought up before you guys a few months ago to at least look into it. So I spent some time talking with the DNR and getting other model ordinances from other cities. After going through it and after passing this along to Jordan, our city attorney, he kind of simplified it. But we can do it, but you'd have to have a permitting scheme. So that means everybody would have to be permitted, and we'd have to designate what roads and this and that and everything else. Long story short, I brought it up to the Public Safety Commission last week, and we said we're going to drop the issue. We're just going to stay along the lines of the, following the state law.
Smart idea, Chief.
That's already written. It won't cost us any money, like permits and stuff like that. It's just already there. So that's our recommendation, is to just drop the whole idea.
I think that recommendation is well received by the council, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jake. Jamie? Oh, sorry, I thought I heard you say something, sorry. TJ, you are up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have 3 items for you tonight. The first item is a request for council action regarding a grapple that I would like to designate as surplus and sell accordingly. This is a hand-me-down from Public Works, so it's seen its days.
Pat, does that look familiar?
You don't need it back, do you?
Can you use it at home? I'm kidding. All right, well, I agree with that. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
We're just gonna go, Jamie made the motion, Bob, will you second it?
Sure.
Bob seconds it. Seeing no further discussion, Shar?
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes,
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right. Stripe processing for the pickleball tournaments.
Yeah, so Stripe is just a processing software that would allow us to have our tournament registration online, which would draw in more people. And also we would be able to use the Duper rating system, which is not English language for everyone, but it's essentially a rating system where players can enter the tournament with their Duper rating, and their Duper rating is affected up or down based on how they perform at the tournament. It draws in a lot more participation. If we do it this way, we can hire a tournament management team to come in and do everything virtually. So we can have up to 150 players playing at this tournament, which would generate $10,000 of revenue.
Wow.
So we're going to try to go more,
Mainstream.
yeah.
A little more mainstream, no more paper.
Right.
Awesome. Well,
There
think
is no charge to the city. All the charges would be on the player signing up.
I think that's a good idea. As long as the city doesn't have any money involved, I'm for it.
Yep.
Any discussion? Someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Stripe.
Jamie made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Bob seconds it. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Shar?
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Awesome. Pickleball construction update.
Yeah, so they started work on the courts in the parking lot today for Anderson Brothers is there. They were really getting after it. We had a few things that we had to adjust on our side, a fence corner, some other pieces that my guys had to kind of alter. One of the main pieces, discussion points, was the area where we are adjoining the existing courts and the new courts. And the concern from Anderson Brothers was that the joint would be in the play surface of the new courts, which over time would affect that playing surface. So
Right.
a solution that we are proposing is to create a 7-foot, or we're only essentially adding 5 feet to the total project, but it would be a 7-foot corridor. I'll show you the original, Paul, if you want to switch over. There's the previous design is to directly abut those, but like I said, the bituminous crack would actually be in the play surface. So the alternative, what we came up with in talking with the pickleball folks and the Anderson Brothers contractors, was to implement a pathway. And this would be for spectators. They could drop off their duffel bags and use this as a space for storage. Potential lighting needs in the future would be placed within that area as well.
Good idea.
So it would add that additional bituminous surface as well as 120 feet of fence, 4-foot fence. Obviously, all you guys are asking, where's the money coming from? And so I will turn it over to Peter from our conversations earlier.
Again, we were lucky to have this come up while the players playing. We did an informal survey of that group saying, here are the changes that we're looking at being suggested to us. And we had unanimous support for that and agreement that they were willing to help with additional funding for that. In addition to that, the $70,000 that we committed to raising for the courts themselves, we actually raised $73,000. So we have some money already in addition to what was there. So I have pooled the CPA board, the Cross Lake Pickleball Association, making them aware of this, and so far 4 of the 5 have been able to respond in this short window. 3 have supported it. 1 has questions about not wanting to exceed an unknown budget item. So there's that question, but we do have 3 out of the 5 have already approved it.
Nice.
And I'm simply here to say, we'll figure out, and it won't come out of my pocket, but I'll talk somebody into helping support this and getting money.
Well, thank you,
It'll
Peter.
happen.
What's the total amount?
The cost change would be $5,500.
$5,500, and it sounds like you already have majority of it, so you have the 3,000. So depending, how long do you think it'll take you to raise the remainder?
We'll have that raised before the project is.
Okay, so you have no quorum of,
I think it's
yeah,
going to be.
no calls, okay.
Easy. The other thing that wasn't mentioned is, this allows us to have people watch games on now 4 courts.
Yeah,
Close up to the action versus where you'd have to either
Right.
have the event on the far courts and only one side is available. This gives us a lot more opportunities to,
well, it kind of worked out nice then, Peter, and we're grateful for your leadership in getting that money pooled together for us, so thank you. And thank you to the Cross Lake Pickleball Association. TJ, I imagine you want a motion to go ahead with that, correct?
Yeah, we would have till Wednesday of this week
All
to
right.
make that decision.
Well, I think the CPA guys, CPA group is going to be able to raise that money probably by the time this meeting is over. So I will make a motion that we go forward with the pickleball construction update / change.
I'll second that.
Jackson made a motion, Bob made the second. Any further discussion by any council?
None for me.
Thank you. Sandy, anything?
No?
Robin?
Nope.
Okay, seeing no further discussion, Shar?
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes?
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Perfect.
Motion carries.
Awesome, thank you, TJ.
Thanks, guys.
Mr. Pat, you've got a long laundry list tonight. You've been busy.
All right, first thing is the Public Works submission about the citywide trail plan. Tom had stated that Park and Rec Commission approved a motion recommending the city council to ask the city engineer for a proposal to develop the citywide trail. And additional trails and maintenance of the existing trails will involve roads, so the citywide plan will benefit to the city, the Public Works. We need to have you guys pass a motion on that.
This will really help us out in the long run and get everything kind of streamlined. So, do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Robin makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Bob seconds. Any further discussion on a trail plan? Seeing no further discussion, Shar?
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes?
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, the next one is a feasibility plan. There was a discussion made about if we can ask for grants, donations, or groups to put towards trail projects. We also need to keep Mike O'Connell in the loop along with TJ. Following the correct chain of commands will make the city lead the projects and the county can follow. The archaeological study is being done for 2,700. Phase 1 will be 12,000. Phase 2 can be up to 40,000 or more. Need a motion on that.
Is there any further discussion on this? I also believe this piggybacks into C as well, so. But any further discussion on this? Seeing no further discussion, I'll make a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Bob seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Shar?
Sandy?
Yes?
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, the next one is the archaeological study of 103. It had started with the trails and also the county needs them for turning lanes.
Yeah.
So we need a motion on that one.
We had a meeting with Phil, myself, Pat, Ms. Conway, Mike O'Connell, Tim Bray. Did I cover everybody? I think so. About 2 weeks ago or maybe a week ago, and this was of conversation, and Mike O'Connell committed to the group that his Lakes Foundation organization would commit to paying whatever came in under 50. Did he have the threshold of 50,000? Okay, but regardless, Mike O'Connell said this was vital and that his group would furnish the bill to keep it off the city dollar. Just so that's clear. Do we have a motion?
Phil, did you want to say something?
Hop in, Phil.
Didn't you just approve
Well, that's what I was,
archaeological costs in the previous?
well, that's what I was
Yeah,
saying. I
it's kinda
thought,
duplicating it a little.
that's what I was saying. I thought B and C were like piggybacking each other, so that's kind of
The
why I
last
was,
one was the feasibility study.
as a whole, and then
move
this one's the
forward.
separate, the study.
C is the turning lane.
Okay, because the turning lane was,
All right.
was what Tim wanted to have the city point on, so. You're not there yet.
No,
It's okay. It's okay.
Wait.
We're on C right now,
Sorry.
so. Phil? We're on C now. Did you need to say something on C?
no, he's worried about D, the turning lane.
Hear you loud and clear. All right. Do we have a motion on that?
No.
No? I'll make a motion that we approve this. Approve the archaeological study on 103. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Bob. That was rough. Seeing no, is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Shar?
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes,
Motion carries.
All right, Phil, or Pat, go ahead first.
All right, there's a meeting, it was right turn lane on Perkins Road. There was a meeting held on May 2nd, and the discussion regarding the county review into installation of the right turn lane at Perkins. Discussion was held, and it appeared that installing the right turn lane would leave little or no room for future separation trail. This was brought to Public Works Commission on Monday, May 5th. I'm asking for a motion to request that the county does not place a right turn lane onto Perkins, as it may complicate a future trail at that location.
Phil, go ahead.
So here's my input. I was talking to the county engineer on a different project, and he just asked, he wanted me to say to the city that the county doesn't have really a reason from a crash data standpoint to have a right turn lane there. So their only point that they bring up, even though their data doesn't support it and they're not pushing for it, Perkins Road does lead to that park area. It is a potential traffic generator, but the county doesn't have a crash reason to put that there. They would love to know what the city's input is. If the city came back and said, oh, no, we really think there needs to be one there, they would ratchet that in, but they're not pushing to have it.
Thank you, Phil. Ms. Sylvester, I imagine that came through Public Works, correct? And your guys'
Well, the further information, additional information that you had didn't, but thank you for that update.
Yeah, just today.
Yeah. And I'm just going to make a comment. That's in front of my property, and I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Okay, sounds good. Any further discussion from the council? Seeing no further discussion from the council, does anyone have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we do not put in the turn lane at Perkins Road.
Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds. Any further discussion?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Sandy.
It's my understanding that the purpose for a right turn lane was to, because the traffic goes by quickly there, make it, is that accurate, Robin?
It's fast. It's fast, that whole road, but I'm not sure what the county's purpose was to put a turn lane there.
Phil was saying that, the data doesn't have anything to do with crashes, but I'm sure the county just wants to get people out of the lane if they're turning right.
Right.
So,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion? Shar?
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes,
Motion carries 4-0.
Perfect.
One abstain. Thanks.
Go ahead, Pat.
All right, next one is Wilderness Parkway. Lengthy deal about Mr. Nevin and Dave Terry doing their development up in there with the road. Motion was made by Tom Swenson and second by Dave Schrupp to recommend the city council to review the information from Phil and see if it met the requirements. Are the 3 borings adequate enough, and will we need more?
Phil, can I ask you some questions? I know this is not what you want to be involved in, but did Mr. Nevin sign up with you when he started plowing this road in or not?
No.
Okay, there's my answer right there.
So he took this on, individually. We both told him, you're doing this ass backwards.
We have a process. This is what we ran
It's
in.
not that the city can't get ass stuff, but he had his approach.
No, I hear you.
So-
We have a process, we have a formal process. He was given the process, he was given the specs, he knew the way this should have been done. Since he didn't work with an engineer from the get-go, I think that really tells what's going on here. So, that's my opinion. Does any other council member have any further discussion? Does any council member go ahead, Robin.
Yep, I can just elaborate that we did have the conversation, and thank you, Phil, for bringing up. I did want some consistency, so this board also asked another property owner to go 1 boring every 50 feet. Is that correct, Phil? I think I'm saying that right.
Correct.
And so, right now, there's only 3 borings done in this location, and if they had to follow that pattern, they would do 20. So, and then it was also.
They would have to do 20, or this other property owner?
This new property
Okay.
owner, yes, would need to do 20. And then we were also notified that the pavement is already scheduled early June.
Yeah, so just to contrast the two, the other developer went through the process of working with planning and zoning, and they laid it out. And they said initially, or they said throughout their process, they intended to turn that over to the city. It become a public road. The process then is, after the plan is approved, they bring their engineering plan in, we review it, we say, yes, it meets our standards. Then the next thing is okay, now you have to execute it. When you start building it, we come in at certain points and we look at it, and then we can at least confirm or validate to the city, this is a road you could take over. We have strong confidence it's gonna last as long as it should. So in that situation, the contractor for the developer built it and then started putting class 5 on it before we could see it at an important point. So our remedy was, at the Public Works, a boring every 50 feet, which is pretty expensive, or pull all the class 5 off, and then we can see what's going on. Dave went a different way and went the private route, and now is coming forward after it's sort of built, saying, oh, here's my plan.
We have processes for a reason. Do we have any further discussion on that? Seeing no further discussion, do we have?
I have one question.
Go ahead, Jamie.
If the landowners are willing to pay for all the costs to see if it meets your standards, wouldn't it be worth it, at least letting them vet that out? Or do you, in your opinion, do you think it's?
Well, I think that's what the Public Works was getting at. The truth of the matter is, the city, whether it's your administration, it used to be the previous administration or the next one, you will have people come forward saying, I've got this road, it's private, I would like it to make it public. And the main reason they want to do that is because they don't want to continue to have to plow it, or it is going to deteriorate. So I think the Public Works is leaving the door open to say, if there's a remedy for this, more borings, you spend the dollars to show that we have a good road here, then I think they haven't shut the door on it. You know,
And how many borings was it again on Dave's?
Well, when we did the previous, we didn't tell Dave a number. We just told him that for the previous similar development, we said 1 every 50 feet.
And
it's a lot.
I was saying,
but the
how much
reality
a
is-
bore?
What's that?
Well, whatever, this is for Dave.
I don't know the
This is for
cost.
Dave
That's
to
what
decide,
somebody else-
exactly.
It's a significant cost.
So my question would be, what is the cost for your time to manage this, for us to decide? I think that's what the motion is here, is do we as a council approve our city engineer to review the plans and come up with the solution of, I need you to pull back the class 5 or whatever and do more
So,
borings?
that's where the developer provides an escrow to the city.
like Miller did.
like, right, where we have some time, we build the city, in theory, the city bills it to the developer.
And he
So-
does have that in place,
Right,
correct?
he does, but it is important, and I appreciate Jackson's comment, because if there's no desire, if this is a no-go, then I don't want to waste Dave's money looking at stuff.
Right.
You know,
I guess, do you and Dave come, well, obviously you're gonna propose what your dollar amount is that you're gonna require, what your testing is gonna be.
Basically, they have done 3 tests, and, I mean,
Well, 3,
whether one every 50 feet is, his is 1,100 feet long, so it's more than the other one. I think the other one was like 900 feet long, so.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, depending on how, if you're gonna do one every 50 feet and you give Dave, this is what it's gonna cost you to
Yeah.
see if the city's gonna accept it, I guess you and Dave can come up with a number.
It's not me and Dave, Jackson, it's Dave trying to see what the city's desire to have another road, and what would that take to take on another road.
Oh, gotcha,
That's what it is.
yeah, no.
Dave has a different engineer that's put together the other part of this, and
I
that's the
see what you're
drainage
saying now.
aspect.
I'm not, yeah, nope.
Yeah, I'm completely here for the city, trying to figure out, you didn't do it the easy way, now is there a backdoor way that the city can still feel good that they've got a quality product in hand? And honestly, I'll just say this for the record, the city doesn't need any more roads. We have plenty to take care of. So we're not out asking.
There we go. Thank you, Phil. After that, do we have any further discussion?
I'm having trouble hearing what everyone's saying, but is it my understanding that Phil has already determined that we need more than 3 borings?
Yes.
Essentially, yes.
So this motion that's written here, we don't really need to make a motion on that.
Say that one more time, Sandy. You
Sorry?
mean on this memo of what they're asking, or?
Well, I mean, the motion is supposed to be, do we want Phil to review the information? But, or are 3 borings enough or not? But he just said, if I heard him correctly, that 3 borings are not enough.
Right, and I don't think 3 borings are enough, but it's not my decision. Ultimately, I could say let's 1 every 50 feet, but the 3 he has right now is not enough. What is that number? Public Works might say different than what we did with the other developer. I don't know. That's ultimately a decision that's made. I give information. I can just tell you right now, the 3 he has is likely not enough over 1,100 feet.
Perfect.
And if we see it, if we have a plan and we see it before it gets done, then there's no additional borings.
Right. Right. Based on that, do we have any further discussion? I mean, I don't think 3 borings is enough for a 1,100-foot road. I mean, come on.
So we're either gonna require,
We're gonna either require more, or we're just gonna say, you're done. So why don't we just extend the olive branch and give him the opportunity to do whatever, 1 every 50 feet like you're doing with the other person. And if he wants to entertain that motion and pay the bill, he can. And if he doesn't want to, we're not gonna accept the road.
I'll second that.
There we go. We have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any further discussion?
Can we modify to accommodate removal? I'm not going to say it right, Phil. It's either a boring every 50 feet or pull back, is it class 5?
Class 5.
Class 5 needs to be, we should be consistent with the language that
fine.
we used for the other property.
That's fine. I'm good with that.
Yes.
Okay, Bob amended, I amended, looks accepted, yay. All right, Bashar?
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes?
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Public Works Commission, Barstock and Loon Center update.
All right, Phil, you've been working with them this week.
Yeah, this is good news. I think we're doing the year 2 improvements. Pioneer and Swan, we're doing a mill and overlay, and We know that Barstock and Loon Center are developing. We're gonna get done way before them, so we've coordinated with them to put in their curb cuts, so their entrance off the road so that they shouldn't have to come into the new blacktop road. And the main thing is they're agreeable to the extra cost. We've tried to estimate the cost. The contractor said they'll honor the bid unit prices and will extend it. We've marked it up. Year 2 road improvements are happening, so, it's a good catch by Tom Swenson, and we're working with them, and they're very cooperative.
Awesome. Good catch. Thanks, Tom, if you're on Zoom still. All right. Do we have a motion?
I will make a motion to proceed.
Ms. Sylvester makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Knapp seconds. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Bob?
I just have a question. On Swan Drive, where it comes from 66, it was new pavement all the way up past the hotel. My understanding is that those businesses are paying again. They've already paid for the new section that goes up past the hotel, but now they've received a notice that they'll be charged again for, they will not?
They will not. Because that pavement's new and we're not doing, we're overlaying just where that stuff starts.
So I can tell them that was a mistake?
Correct. There is no place in the whole area. It's
Okay.
more notice that this is happening.
Okay.
And we sent it out to everybody, so we had to make sure everybody knew there was this assessment.
Okay.
So if the improvement isn't in front of their property, they're not paying.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have a motion?
Yes.
Who seconded?
Jamie?
Okay. Do the vote.
Sandy?
Yes?
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Pat, not to put you on the spot, have we heard back from Crowing Power yet? That just made me think of our Crowing Power discussion.
No, I'm gonna make a note of it, because I forgot all about checking with.
I just now remembered
They were
it, so.
postponing for something to do with the Loon Center, and I will,
Is that for the lights?
Yes.
I did receive communication while you were out at the school, and they will donate the installation of that, which is approximately $7,000.
Awesome. That's great. All right.
Perfect.
You too, if you could continue that venture, that would be appreciated. Thank you. Good job. All right. Memo dated May 8th, road improvements year 2 and 3.
I've got seal coat work. County has not provided a firm schedule, but actually, they're getting started. Didn't they give us a date, Phil, for seal coating? Or was I thinking something else? Something else, all right. And the mill and overlays starting, that started this week. Today, yep. Any questions on any of that, or? Do we
Nope.
have?
No.
We're good. Thank you.
All righty.
H.
All right, and this is 2025 crack seal. Most of the crack sealing's already been done on all the roads.
Awesome.
They rolled through here last week or whenever it was. They got it all done for us.
This is for the trails, isn't it? West
May
Shore Drive
5th,
Trail?
crack seal
This
2025.
is crack seal for,
H.
that was everything, that was for, not the trails, that was all roads in that one.
I see what you're saying. You're going to the next one. Pat provided, or, sorry, Pat presented a quote from Anderson Brothers in the amount of $5,009.39 to crack fill West Shore Drive road surface at the same time crack filling is done on the West Shore Drive trail. So you need a motion on that, correct? To
Yep.
approve that? Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Ms. Sylvester made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Knapp seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Shar?
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes?
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
2026 improvements for year 3. Bill discussed a 3-year 2026 improvements, which include 5.8 miles of aggregate chip seal, At estimated cost of $210,000 and 4.6 miles bituminous mill and overlay. It's originally estimated at $1,125,000, but now he believes the work can be reduced down to $675,000. Need a motion on that?
Why did this get all
I'll make the
messed up?
motion for saving the city some money.
I'll second.
Robin motioned, Sandy seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Shar?
Sandy?
Yes?
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, and then we got a 5-year road improvement plan. Phil discussed if we would like to expand it to a 5-year road improvement plan to remain ahead of, or leave it for now. He will do a review of what roads and trails need to be worked and prioritize them. Gordy thought we keep going and move along with a 5-year program.
No, I think that's great to continue to be ahead of the game, so good
Yes, I think
job.
we need to stay on top of it.
Good job, you guys. We're finally getting back to that after years of it being neglected, so thank you. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the 18,000 for the next improvement plan.
Ms. Sylvester motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Knapp, if there's any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Shar?
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes?
Robin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Perfect. Thank you,
All
Pat.
right, well, we've got a couple more quick updates.
All right.
Dave, we'll turn this on in a minute. First one is that sewer main repair that we were talking about. We had to have a gentleman come in there and cut the sewer opening. That was $58.50, and then the blacktop to fill the hole, which is the last bill, was $46.28.23. So
Is this tacked on to the collection stuff? Brilliant. That's why you're working here.
then we need a motion for you guys if we can have Phil do the cemetery roads, get that all designed for us so we can possibly get them done yet this year.
What's your engineering gonna be on it, Phil?
We actually already got approved to do this
Did you?
a few years ago.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, this is an ever-evolving project.
Cemetery plat, and then we had also to just lay out.
Right.
So
Right.
he's telling us to go ahead.
Yeah.
And that was the kind of question, are you ready for the access, to allow access to that cemetery?
There's no council action here. Do you want a council action?
I think the question was, is you were supposed to ask Shar if you're ready to open that area up, which you don't need access roads if you're not ready to start selling parcels in there.
Well, when are we gonna
Is it
start?
pinned? Is it all pinned?
It's all pinned, yeah.
Is it, I think that was that big roll-up map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's cool.
So, when does the city wanna
I
start
would
selling
say
over
next
there?
spring.
Next spring?
All right.
So then we still gotta get the roads laid out. All right,
So we could just come back to that.
all right. Next thing is Andy's parking lot, the seal coat and striping. Public Works, we talked about it, that they need, whoever business owns, they have to pay their square footage in front of their building, because there's been some going back and forth
Yeah.
about dividing it up. If you own 50 feet in front of your building, their view was they need to just pay the seal coating and the striping of it all.
Do we have final numbers on that? Final calculations of what it's gonna cost each business?
We did see that 2 meetings ago?
But it wasn't final.
Okay.
We're still needing the final numbers.
And I do have a concern when we get to that point.
All right, so we'll just make sure we have final numbers then, and
Were you gonna talk about the splitting of the payment?
Well, splitting the payment. we
Talk about
already
it now.
approved, But it's the handicap parking and the no parking areas.
Yeah, bring that up. That was, you and I talked about that. That was good.
So in places like Cross Lake Coffee, I'll use that for an example, the smallest building, they have 2 spots there. One is no parking and one is a handicap parking that all 5 businesses use. I think you have to split up the handicap areas and the no parking areas, split it up amongst the 5 businesses. I think that's the only fair way to do it. The parking spots that people can use, fine. But everybody uses the handicap spots, and that's why I think it's fair for all the businesses to share in that square footage.
May I comment?
Yeah, of course.
So Tom, I see you are on, I don't know if you have access to comment as well, if you'd like? Because this did come up at committee.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Yep.
Tom, you on there? I say he was walking.
I'll just, correct me if I'm wrong. So the committee talked about that too, and in our view, it didn't matter what parking space was what, it was really about take all the lines away and look at what is your footage right out from your building, because they're gonna share parking across that area regardless. So we talked about it. It's unfortunate that, you know, that one
Right.
location is difficult.
Go ahead, Bob.
Your customers are not parking there. That could be a customer for a business 3 businesses away. It's just, to me, it's not fair. It should be the businesses pay for the spots that are for their customers. And when you have people sharing handicapped or no parking space, I don't think a small business should have to pay for all that on their own. It just doesn't seem fair.
Robin, anything?
I just think that the square footage is a square footage regardless of the paint on the bituminous. And it's unfortunate for the ends or where this parking spot is. It is what, to my understanding, what they knew they owned or had responsibility for when they populated
Purchased
their space.
Sandy, do you have anything? Or go ahead, Pat.
Well, it'd be the same thing as, the coffee shop is closed at 5 o'clock at night, but Andy's customers
Absorbs
are gonna be
that
parking in
whole.
front of the coffee shop.
Sandy,
You know,
do you?
it overflows
sorry.
both ways on that stuff.
Do we have enough handicap parking in there for all those businesses? We don't. So that's another issue.
Is that done on a study? Or has it?
Paul, you said it's based on occupancy or?
Yeah, so it would be based on, well, the use of the business dictates how many parking spaces you need. So like a retail, Andy's would be a restaurant, their parking is dictated on how many tables and bar seats there are, and that would calculate out to, say, 50 spots that they would need, and then your handicap number is based on that 50 count. So you need one handicap for every, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but for every, 20 spots, you need one handicap. So Andy's might need 3 or 4 handicap spots based on the number of spots. But that whole area is really non-conforming because, you take, I mean, based on the number of seats that Andy's have, I bet that,
Right.
I think that whole parking space could be just for Andy's.
Right.
But you have 4 other businesses in there. So that's a hard one to look at because the whole area is non-conforming.
Well, you have 2 spots, one at Andy's and one at the coffee shop, right in between them.
I hear
And
you.
the other handicap is way down in front of the log building, so there's 3. There's 3 handicap parking, and we seem to be in this city pretty concerned about those kinds of things, but here we're just sort of like, well,
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's a valid statement.
Who actually owns the parking lot?
The businesses own roughly the first 20 feet from their building out, and then the rest of it's actually the core, which we take care of.
Okay.
Robin, on that note, do you have anything more additional?
It's a hard topic, I get it.
It's tough.
shared parking. I don't have anything further, thank you.
Thank you. Sandy, do you have any input or comments, concerns, questions?
Not really.
Okay, Mr. Knapp?
I sort of share Bob's feeling.
I understand Bob's feeling too, but once it's, what's in front of you is what's in front of you, and that's what you purchased. But I understand after 5 o'clock, Andy's absorbs that whole parking lot.
why can't we add 2 more handicap spots further down just to sort of spread them out a little bit? It just doesn't,
No, I hear
it makes
ya.
no sense the way it is right now.
I don't think there's anything saying that we can't add spots. Ms. Conway, do you want to jump in on this conversation with some guidance and advice?
I was told that there are ramps there, and that's why there's
One ramp.
2 there, and then there's the handicap at the other end. So then there would be sidewalk modification that would be needed, right? So.
Phil?
They do own that part in front of them.
Who's actually asking us to
Seal coat?
seal code?
It's just part of our improvement plan, that parking lot needs to be done. If we're gonna keep on top of it.
Yeah, so a part of the city's effort with the seal coating is to take care of all the public spaces. So they're doing the fire hall, they're doing public works, they're doing here. Oh, we already did here. No, we're doing
No,
here.
we're doing here,
And we're
yeah.
doing the old fire hall. So Andy's is quasi-public, or not Andy's, that core area. But then right up, like he's saying, 20 feet against the buildings is all private property. And there's kind of this view, it would probably be silly if we seal coated our public area and didn't offer that 20 foot to be seal coated as well. So it could be you don't even seal coat
Is
it.
the Corps paying for that, or is the city paying for that?
We're paying for the stuff on the core by maintenance agreement.
Is there a way those spots can be evenly distributed since they're all basically common at certain times of the day?
That's what you're asking.
That's
It's-
up to you guys, but then the coffee shops is probably gonna go up.
Well, I would like to know what the ADA requires. And if the ADA requires something, we might have to do a curb cut or a modification of a wood sidewalk or whatever.
It wouldn't be us, it'd be the business owners that have to do that, because they own all that property, and most of them are not ADA acceptable at all. It's the truth, I mean, it's just the truth, the way it is. It was set up 40 years, 50 years ago, whatever.
It is.
To do what you want to do, Bob, if this were all public, this would be a lot easier. It would be a cost, but you could make all the decisions. And the ADA improvements are tough, but just because they go back, they have to be so flat, it'll be a costly thing to do, and to put it on the private citizens will be, I know where you're gonna get it, you'll get opposition, so.
All right.
And
I just don't want to,
I know what you're saying.
I mean, I've seen other businesses in town get in trouble over that, and I'm trying to protect the people a little bit. but-
They could be called, there are. You should hang microphone. But I know the city of Wadena at their liquor store, because I work with them, their liquor store right off of Highway 10 there, there's fraudulent activity where people would look at Google Street View and stuff like that, and they looked at the liquor store and were able to make the claim that it was not ADA compliant, sued them. And the
You're
city went
kidding.
in, and that was a whole racket going around. So you're right, every one of those businesses is potentially open to someone making a claim.
Cut this out of the meeting.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And it's true.
mean-
They're at their own risk. But it's not, many small communities are the same way. It's hard to keep up with the ADA requirements.
And when it goes back to my previous discussion, Andy's is paying the same as that little coffee shop. About.
How?
And Remax is paying a lot less, and it's bigger, so
Yeah.
I just don't think it's right.
When were you slated to start this one?
That's the county and sometime in June. They typically do it in the warmest months, June, July. We just don't have a firm date on that.
Can we just table it for a year?
Sorry for keeping everybody here longer, but
No,
it's important to me.
It's okay, Bob. I understand. I've gotten the calls too, so it's tough. Jeez. So, okay.
Pat, are you looking for a motion from us tonight?
You're not gonna please that. We're not gonna please everybody, and
please
that's
everyone,
something
but
we
yeah.
have to realize, and that's something, it's
So,
part
I
of the
mean, if
deal.
we get it figured out, then we can get to all the property owners and let them know exactly what it's gonna cost them.
Okay, do you still want I think it's a good idea, still want your split payment in there?
Yes.
I think that's a good idea, so they can pay some now and
I
then.
agree with that.
I like
no-
that breakdown.
No quorums with that idea.
That's a good idea. All right, I'll make a motion, hang the mayor. We'll make a motion to do the square footage in front of each businesses, and then we'll have the option of paying it at a split rate.
And I'll second that motion.
Jump in, discussion.
Has anyone approached the businesses to see if they want to take a shared cost? like you're saying? I mean,
Like
you
doing,
hear all
like
this-
dividing it out?
Yeah, have you talked to the property owners together?
I
and
guess
said,
I
"Hey, we've
personally-
got this, do you feel like?
I personally
'cause aren't we
haven't.
talking like, under $1,000 each?
I've talked to
Most of
two.
them aren't that
Would
bad.
someone take $200 extra? You know, as what I'm saying is that
Go ahead, Bob.
Well, I think the easy way to do it that I've said over and over is that you take the square footage of the no parking areas and the handicap areas and make that like common space that everybody has to divide equally. That's just such a simple way, fair way to do it.
It's up to you guys.
I'm on my motion. Robin, what is your,
I'm still, second, I just want to make a comment.
Go
to that.
ahead.
I wonder if that agreement needs to be between the owners, though, not the city. The owners need to.
They
to
come up with that
a
themselves.
Mutual agreement amongst themselves.
Bob, do you want to be the representative of getting these guys in a meeting?
That's fine.
Okay, so for now,
We have a motion.
yep, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So let's vote on this motion and then we'll, yes. Shar?
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
No.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes,
Motion carries 4-1.
So that part passed. When you go and have your meeting, do you want to see if you can strike up a deal of the cost share agreement between the property owners?
I'll talk to them about that, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. You're in charge of that.
Obviously, the people that might have to pay $20 more aren't gonna like it, but the ones that pay $20 less will love it, so.
Right, exactly. All right, so we're past that.
All right, just a quick bridge report that they've did all the maintenance on the bridges.
Yeah.
Woods have been sealed. Only thing left is a couple signs we've got to put up. And just, TJ, if you turn it on, it's just an FYI, this is our influent building down the waste treatment plant. I got a bid, because there's no insulation at all in that building with the concrete. We got a bid of 4147 to spray foam all the walls and seal it up so we can try saving some money on the heat bill.
Can you repeat that? I was making a smart comment.
That's the influent building at the waste treatment plant. All there is concrete. There's no insulation on the walls. They're gonna spray foam all the walls for a cost of $41.47. We have the money in the budget. It was just to let you guys know that we're doing it to try and save some money down there.
So is it just gonna be spray foam on the walls then? or are
Spray
we gonna
foam on
cover
the walls
spray
and then
foam?
we can paint it so
I
it'll
was
look
just gonna say, are
nice.
you gonna be able to clean the spray foam?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
you'll paint it and then you can clean it and take care of it.
Okay. And it's in the budget?
It's, money's in the budget, so we're good to go. It was just to let you guys know what we're doing down there.
Sounds good, Pat.
All right, thank you.
All right, Mr. Satterland.
All right, well, good evening, Mayor and Council. Got a number of items tonight. I'll try to go quicker than Pat tonight. Might be a first. All right, 4A, an ordinance amending Chapter 42, article naming an unnamed road as Wilderness Parkway and adding the road name to the master road name index for the city of Cross Lake.
Any further discussion? That one's pretty cut and dry, council.
And
Nothing for
that's
me.
just the first reading, so no action.
Okay. As long as we know
Thank
what's
you, sir.
happening.
B. All right, 4B, this is an ordinance amendment, the first reading for a land use table, adding golf course in the RR5 as a conditional use permit. So we'll be looking for a council action motion for first reading. This was recommended to the city council by the planning commission with a unanimous vote at our May 8th special planning meeting. So as of right now, our golf course is only allowed in the limited commercial and the waterfront commercial, and nowhere else. And really, if you look at our land use map, I mean, there wouldn't be, there's really no room to add a golf course in either of those two districts. County really just kind of copied and pasted in 2014, and so Mike Stone came forward and asked for that to get changed. So it'd be adding a conditional use into the RR5.
You need a motion?
It would be a first reading.
So just informational. Go ahead.
All right, and then for C, would be the approval of a $750 refund to Mike Stone for an ordinance change request fee. This was recommended by the Planning Commission with a unanimous vote to be passed to the City Council at our May 8th special planning meeting. Mike Stone said that when the county changed the land use districts / table back in 2014, that he was never notified of the changes. Mike Stone has paid charges of $750 for a special meeting, $750 for the conditional use that is upcoming, and $750 for the ask of the ordinance change.
So we're just gonna take one of those charges away and give it back to him, correct? So he's still gonna pay the two, or he has
Correct,
paid the
yep.
two 750s.
Yep, and he's just asking for a refund on the $750.
Right.
I move to approve the refund.
We have a motion to approve the refund by Bob. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Sylvester seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion. Shar?
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes,
Robin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, 4D, an ordinance amendment. This would be a first reading as well for land use Article 7 conditional / interim use permits, adding a sunset clause. This was recommended to be passed to the City Council by the Planning Commission on May 8th by a unanimous vote. Through public hearing, this would allow a conditional use permit to be revoked if the use isn't substantially completed within 2 years of receiving the approval. Conditional uses run with the land forever as long as the use is intact. And so this will help the city with outstanding conditional use permits dating years back that have had no action on them. Right now, our variants have a sunset clause. You have to complete it within 2 years. This just came up through a lot of the ordinance discussions. We have seen a lot of outstanding conditional uses that have never been acted on, and they're 5, 10 years old. And just most other cities have a sunset clause. You need to at least act on it within the first 2 years, otherwise it can get revoked.
So this will just help clean things up.
Exactly.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, do we have a motion?
It's a first reading.
Oh, first reading item, sorry.
Yeah. 4E, Planning Commission wage increase from $35 to $40 per meeting was asked by the Planning Commission.
Sure. Any discussion, council members?
no, I'll move to approve that.
I'll second.
What is park? Sorry. Are they,
Planning and zoning is the only commission that,
okay, that's it. I didn't even know why I asked park, because I'm on park. Never mind. Seeing there's a motion, there's a second. Shar?
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes,
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Motion carries.
4F, first reading of an ordinance amendment, section 26-549, to not give credit for a permeable surfacing system as pervious surface. This was recommended to the City Council by the Planning Commission by unanimous vote on May 8th. We have seen 3 issues / outcomes of having this currently in our ordinance. One, we've seen that people are only using pervious pavers to develop more on their property. So they're not using it for a better stormwater system as they should. They're really just asking for more development, and this is kind of a way around doing that. Because with that, number 2, people are required to provide a yearly maintenance log and plan showing that their pervious pavers are still pervious. I think in the history of Cross Lake, we have still yet to see a maintenance log come in. Nobody does it. Not to say there aren't people out there that are doing the right thing by there's a whole proper procedure on how to clean pervious pavers, and the only time that we catch it is when somebody comes in for a permit and we notice, hey, 10 years ago, you put in pervious pavers. Is it still pervious? So that's number 2. And then 3, let's say that when we do catch them at the counter and say, hey, is your driveway pervious still? And they're like, well, I haven't cleaned it in 10 years. And at the time they're at 24.9%, you can't go over 25. They got permission to put in 1,200 square feet of pervious pavers. Now, fast forward 10 years, it's clearly impervious. Now what do we do from an enforcement? Do we tell them, you need to take that structure out? You need to tear up your entire driveway? It's a hard enforcement issue after the fact. And so that, for that reason, and very, very few other cities allow credit for pervious pavers. Cheryl and I went to a regional meeting and had this discussion, and I think the city of Nisswa is the only one in the area that accepts credit. And so we're just proposing to get rid of it for enforcement issues.
Well, it sounds like you've done your research once again, Paul, so therefore I'll go along with it. Do we have, that's a motion?
I'll second.
Sorry, first reading. We're still getting used to the first readings.
All right, and then another first reading of an ordinance amendment adding the retail sale of cannabis in the limited commercial district as a conditional use permit. This is a formality coming from the Office of Cannabis Management that we include the retail of cannabis into our land use table. But we do have an ordinance in place that we only allow for one, along with we do not allow for the cultivation of cannabis. So this is just a formality to get it into our table, so we have it there.
For state law.
Yep.
Okay. Any discussion, council? Seeing no discussion, is there, oh, no, first reading.
A lot of first readings.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, city attorney's report. Mr. Jordan, do you have anything for us tonight?
Evening, Mayor, Council. I do not have anything to report tonight.
Does anybody have any questions or anything for Jordan, council-wise? Thank you, Jordan, we appreciate it. Public forum, this is for those persons that wish to address the council. The council recognizes the value of citizen input. Time will be limited to 3 minutes or longer if the mayor feels necessary. So come on up.
Hi, Dave Fisher, 36412 Rushmore Boulevard. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Whitefish Area Property Owners Association, the sponsors of Grandpa's Run for the Walleye. And I apologize for being late. I got tied up over in Crosby. So,
it's okay.
Grandpa's, just to bring everybody up to speed, Grandpa's Run for the Walleye is a 5K run walk, 10K run, and we also have kids races on the ballpark at the community center, and we have those divided by age. The best race to watch is the 0 to 2 year olds.
You're still winning, right, Dave?
No, I've lost.
Okay.
A 1-year-old beat me last time. Okay. This is our 28th annual year of Grandpa's Run for the Walleye.
Thank you.
And we expect over 700 participants this year, and we use about 50 volunteers to put on the race. The race always takes place the same Saturday as the fireworks.
Yeah.
So it has become part of the 4th of July celebration here in Cross Lake.
It's tradition.
Okay. Last year, we had participants from 26 states and 2 foreign countries.
Wow.
I think this is really of an interest to everybody because it shows not all of our weekenders come from Edina. Part of the reason we get this participation is we use chip timing, and our courses are certified by the U.S. Track and Field Federation.
Right.
This allows runners to win recognition from the Track and Field Federation for the results. In fact, last year, an 81-year-old woman from Outing set the state record for her age group on our course.
How awesome.
So it's,
that's great.
You know, quite an honor for us also.
Totally.
Okay. Historically, Park and Rec staff have helped us set up, and Public Works has provided us with barricades and cones and vests for the course monitors. Just to give you an idea of the courses, you want to turn this on, Paul? Or TJ? The 5K course and the 10K course basically extends from this, but we start in front of the community center, go down to CASA 66, on the shoulder down to the fire hall parking lot for the 5K, and then around through Old Log Landing coming back up Wilderness Trail and then going on the bike trail back to the finish line, which is behind the community center. For the 10K, it's basically the same thing, except once the runners get to up Wilderness Trail to Daggett Pine, they go all the way out to the end of Dream Island, to the end of the road, turn around, and come back on the road all the way to the community center, and then go behind the community center to the common finish line. So that's how we, and this course we've used it for over 20 years. As you can see, it's the certification up there in the corner from U.S. Track and Field. It has worked really well for us because we really don't cross any traffic.
Right.
And one of the things we do, of course, is we have monitors at all of the corners. We have 3 water stops, so we make sure the runners are all okay as they go along. We stop traffic on Daggett Pine Road between Wilderness Trail and CASA 66 from 8:10 in the morning until 8:45 in the morning. And what the purpose of that is with runners of, say we have 600 runners in the 5K, they can use the full length of the road on Daggett Pine all the way down to CASA 66. And before we get there, we narrow it down so by the time the runners get to 66, then they're all narrowed down so they stay on the shoulders on 66. It also allows complete access to the Ox Lake Landing road that goes up on the east side. So the reason I'm here tonight, Chief Meyer has suggested that we come and get approval for the temporary closure of Daggett Pine. So I am asking you tonight to authorize us to close Daggett Pine for 35 minutes.
We can do that. The city is more than happy to help you out in this yearly tradition.
Okay.
And all the other services that we offer you with the cones and the barricades and everything else. We're just glad that you lead it. So thank you that you continue to do this.
If anybody wants to take my job over.
You're perfect for it, so.
Okay, thank you very much.
We'll help you out.
Okay,
So,
great.
thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Any other? Peter, pickleball eater.
Based on earlier council action to approve an adjustment for the pickleball courts, I'm now up here just suggesting that all the council members, city staff, members of the community could contribute to PAL on behalf of adding that little extra money. I need about $2,500, so any help is appreciated.
Thank you, Peter. We appreciate that. Anybody else? Seeing none, we're going to move into new business. New business. Any council member have any new business they want to bring forward?
Yes.
Go ahead.
There's been a discussion about changing the hours at City Hall during the summer from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Yep.
And since Memorial Day is right around the corner, I think we should discuss it tonight. I know it was pulled from the agenda, but I think it's something we can handle in short order.
That's fine. I'm open for a conversation. Jamie, you?
I'm open for a conversation.
Robin? Sandy?
I thought we were not going to discuss this tonight.
Well, Bob's bringing it under new business, so I think he might have a proposal. I mean, if city staff wants to start this by the 31st and our next meeting's not till June 14th or whenever it is, we're already into summer. Are you willing to have a conversation, or do you still want to talk about it tonight?
I do. Are you waiting for Sandy?
I'm waiting for Sandy, yeah.
Sorry, it's really hard to hear you guys.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Everybody needs to mute their.
I think, Sandy, can you hear me now or no?
No.
Okay. Are you? Turn off. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Jackson.
Okay, sounds good. So I think the four of us still want to have the conversation tonight just because time is of the essence if they want to start this here Memorial Day weekend. So I think the conversation is still wanting to be had. Bob, what is your proposal? You know, I know there was some questions and concerns of staff being not here on Fridays during our busiest times of the year when tourism and second homeowners are coming into the city, still wanting to do city business, so I do understand that. I'm thinking, even though it is the summer, we should still maybe try to see if we can come up with a possible rotation where city staff still gets their work done, but city staff members are able to rotate their hours on a Friday.
I'm curious about how many customers they get on a Friday afternoon.
Shar or City Administrator Conway, if you could speak to that, that would be beneficial.
Well, Lori probably can't. She didn't start till August. I would say that's hard to say.
The variable?
Yes.
Go ahead, Bob.
My suggestion would be that we have one person available on Friday afternoon on a rotating schedule. So what does that make it, every 5 weeks? Or I guess it depends on how many staff are involved in that. So I just can't imagine somebody driving up here for the weekend, and we get a lot of weekend people that are either, they have a weekend cabin or they're a tourist, and they come to the door and they pull on the door at 2 o'clock and it's locked, and then they find out they can't talk to somebody until Monday morning, but they're going back home on Sunday night. So I just think somebody here to answer their questions, give them a form, write down their name and number if they can't help them, but say that somebody will get in touch with them on Monday morning. I just think that would be beneficial.
Are we saying one staff member, Bob, in one staff member, or one in each department?
No, one, well, we're only talking about City Hall here. And
but I mean planning and zoning.
No, just one.
Okay.
One staff member.
Nope.
And they can handle general questions.
I agree with that, Bob. I don't think one person from every department needs to be there because it is summer, but I think if we had one person at least to, let people in and talk to them about any concerns they have, I think that's a good idea, Bob.
And city staff will still be doing their regular 40-hour salaried work week. They're just going to be adjusting their times, coming in earlier and leaving a little later.
The person that has to work a few extra hours on Friday can maybe come in later on Monday or something. I don't know if that's a concern.
Ms. Sylvester?
Yeah, actually, I believe that Lori, as the administrator, has the authority to flex schedules, and we talked about that a little bit today. I think it's important to keep the building open for access, like we all feel. But I also like to empower Lori to work with her staff and her leaders to see what works for them based on volume.
I mean, I think, there it goes. I think we're all in agreement that as long as somebody's here on Friday, that it would work.
Thank you.
Yep.
You're welcome. Jamie, do you have anything, any input?
No, I think you guys covered everything.
Okay, and you were going to be adjusting hours so everyone is still, so it's clear, working their 40-hour work week just from Labor Day to from Memorial to Labor Day, correct?
Yes, and I'll just work with the directors individually to see what works within their means, because I know that Paul in the planning sometimes is busy. So if he feels like he can let our staff, when it's just me or Shar or Cheryl, handle it, I think we'll just talk that over and work it out.
Sounds good. As long as you guys can figure out and we're consistent, that's great. Any other council member have any new business or old business, new business first?
One new business for me. I have had a couple of people approach me about the possibility of a mausoleum in our cemetery. And I don't know if we have rules or regulations or a mausoleum. So for those that want to be buried above ground instead of below ground.
The possibility of what? Sorry?
A mausoleum. We could have a mausoleum here in Cross Lake, and then we'll have the catacombs.
The Lutheran Church has a columbarium.
Barium, sorry, okay.
Yeah.
A columbarium.
Yeah.
That's,
It's above ground for an urn or a...
Well, isn't a mausoleum like what they do down south or something? Don't they bury people above ground down south?
mausoleums are for like caskets, I believe.
Yeah.
Well,
But this is for urns, I think.
this would be
you're-
more for an urn, yeah.
Oh, okay.
A building above ground where somebody could place an urn instead of buying a plot of land.
Yeah, and the Lutheran Church has one. Yeah.
Okay.
All these
And
terms.
we have some headstones in the cemetery that are like singular columbariums. The urn goes in there, it doesn't go in the ground, it goes inside the headstone.
Right.
But I would have the public, I would refer that to the Public Works.
Right.
Because they're in charge of the cemetery as well.
I was gonna say you'd have to build something concrete, and that's a big expense. That's a big
A lot more
expense.
spaces in that one building that might only take up, you know.
Well, Pat
10
and
on the
Robin,
ground.
why don't you guys chit-chat that up in Public Works?
We can, well, Public Works, and isn't there a cemetery board of some sort, or
It's the Public Works.
just Public Works? Well, I thought there, oh, no, you know, like, for you, we go, you know, they go for you for questions. and-
That was a long time ago, like 20 years ago. Sorry.
Maybe you can cue in like Brenny or something and talk to them, I don't know. Maybe they have some input. Or talk to the Lutheran Church or... Yeah, there you go, Jamie, now you're talking about it.
Well, it was brought to my attention, and somebody asked me the question, I said yes.
No, that's okay, I get that.
Bring it up.
All right, any other new business? Sandy, anything?
No?
Okay, I don't have any new business. Do you have any old business?
We're done.
Pat, I just have a question. I know you guys are busy, so it's not like pressing. Any idea of when this is gonna start, or you just want to put it into a fall project?
Be a fall project, but originally, we had a little,
I'm pointing at the dais, by the way, for those who watch this on YouTube.
you know, this is kind of what we were talking about originally, but then talking to Lori, you're the square kind of, and Lori was thinking more of an oval one.
Yeah.
So if we go more oval, then it's gonna take us more time to get it done. It's gonna be.
Whatever's cheap.
Whatever you guys need to do, knock yourself out, that accommodates a raised
But
floor.
If it can wait till fall, that'd be far better, because we are in our busy season.
That's fine, just keep it under that $6,000, I guess. So if Bob wants an oval, so we'll talk about ovals. Make it an oval. All right, any other old business? Seeing no old business, Sandy, take the motion.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Sandy moves to adjourn. Do we have a
Second.
Robin seconds? There's a second. All in favor? Oh, Shar, do roll call.
Jackson.
Yes.
Jamie.
Yes.
Sandy.
Yes?
Robin.
Yes.
Bob. Yes. Motion carries.